Hi and welcome to episode 7 of the eTravel Weekly Show from Virtual Miss Friday. I'm Michelle Dale and this is a show dedicated to virtual assistants and digital nomads from around the globe. In this week's episode, we're going to be discussing 5 reminders that can turn a bad work day into a good one. I'm going to be walking you through my Greek island retreat. I'm also going to be discussing 3 posts that I found online in my eTravel Weeklies. How to avoid being anyone with Seth Godin, 7 ways to boost your creativity, and how to go beyond good enough by delighting your customers. So let's get started with the show. First of all, this week, let's take a look at my blog. I've written a post because obviously this week it's Friday the 13th and we're all a little bit spooked out by it. Personally, I'm not superstitious, although I used to be years ago. But if you are superstitious and you think that Friday is just going to be a bad day, then here are 5 reminders that can actually turn that day around into a good one. And this is not just for Friday the 13th, it's for any day that you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps, that things aren't going right. And I don't know whether you have these bad days, but for me, if one thing goes wrong in my day, like everything will go wrong in my day. And if I don't snap myself out of it, it will just continue like that on a cycle. So I've put together 5 tips, but personally I do, and I think about when I'm having a bad day, that kind of turn it around for me. There's also a really good video in there from Jim Carrey, who is a comedian. Probably heard of him. He's a little bit famous. And he gives some really good advice and things that he learned from his dad as well, which, although it's not directly related to a bad day, it can certainly become a part of the resolution to it. So check out those 5 comments, those 5 points on how to turn your day around, and bookmark it. So the next time you have a bad day, and it doesn't have to be Friday the 13th, you can come back to those and check them out, and then hopefully you'll feel a little bit better. Next, moving on to my Greek island retreat. Oh, this is so exciting. I've been thinking about doing one of these for a long time. A lot of people have said to me, can you do more live stuff? And at the beginning of January this year, I did a workshop, which was fantastic. I've never done any live stuff before, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking for me, to be honest with you, to be in front of sort of people instead of behind a computer and helping people in person. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed putting it together. And then I thought to myself, well, one day is just really not enough. I crammed so much into that day. And I had a little bit of time on either side of that day with the people that came to the workshop, who stayed over. But for me, it just wasn't enough. I felt like I'd done as much as I could in that day, but I wanted to offer so much more, and I had so much more in me that I wanted to talk to people about. So what I've done is I've put together a Greek island retreat package. As many of you know, being a digital nomad, I travel around, and I'm currently in Crete. I've been in 3 countries this year so far, and it's only June, which is pretty cool. But I'm on the island of Crete, and I'll be here for a while because I'm due to have a baby in 5 weeks. So basically what I'm going to be doing is running these Greek island retreats as of next year. And you can book them now, and there's payment plans available if you want to do that. But basically, I've put together a week's program. So you'll be with me for a week, and we'll be staying in a really nice place in Crete. And we've got a 5-day workshop during that time, and every day includes one-on-one direct coaching with me, and also a little bit of relaxation, because you absolutely cannot come to Crete and not enjoy the views and the ocean and the scenery and the Mediterranean and all sorts of things. And we'll also be squeezing in that week a 1-day trip to the island of Santorini, which is absolutely gorgeous. And we're also going to have a day of leisure time, and I've included everything. So we're going to have group sessions on the 5 days of the workshop. We're going to have one-on-one sessions and a little bit of personal time. So everything is included in this retreat. I haven't left anything unthought of. We'll be staying in a luxury villa, or if it's just one-on-one with someone, or there's just a couple of you, then we may stay in a hotel, but it will be a nice one. You'll be served breakfast, lunch and dinner, so everything is included. All the transport is included and the flight transfers and everything. There's also a range of activities that I would like to include. Obviously, we can do sort of exciting activities, or we could do kind of more relaxing activities. That depends entirely on the group or who I'm with. And then we've got the trip to Santorini and unlimited access to me. I'm going to leave my kids with Mr. Friday, and I'm going to come and give you my undivided attention for the week. So this is the page where you can find it. It's virtualmissfriday.com/retreat, and I'm really, really, really excited about running this retreat in 2015. Okay, so moving on to my e-travel weekly discoveries. I've kind of put a little set together this time because I was reading something on Seth Godin's blog, and it was a little bit profound for me, and it really made me think. And I thought to myself, from this, how can I actually help you guys with applying some more practical information? Because basically what he says is, the title of the post is, you can buy this from anyone and wear anyone, okay? So which never works with customers. If you want to sell something, like for example your services, you're not going to tell anyone, well, you can buy this from anyone because, you know, I'm just part of the rest of the group here, and you can get this service from anybody. There's nothing unique about me. So obviously, to have a good business, you have to be unique. So basically, you need to strive and aim for saying, you can't get this from anyone but me. But how do you apply that and do that in the service industry? I get asked so many times from people when I do my training and my programs and my courses. Obviously, everyone is learning the same core foundation for the business and everything like that. But there is one ingredient to all of my programs and all of my courses that isn't even inside my business, and that's you. Okay, so that's step one on how you can make your business unique, and then you have to drill and dig down from there. Taking a course or taking a program or doing any kind of online training will give you the skills and the foundation and the know-how and the knowledge that you need to basically cut out hours and hours and hours of your time. And that's what I aim to do for people on my programs. But there is one ingredient that is going to change your business from being anyone to being the only one. Okay, and I wanted to give you a few pointers on this. So I started exploring online, and I found two other really good posts which I think you should look at. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this one here, and we're going to discuss in the next section of this episode 7 ways to boost your creativity. So here we go. And you know, when you're looking for posts on creativity, there are so many out there which are kind of really dull and advice that you've heard over and over again. And when I found this post, I just thought to myself, gosh, this is it, this is the one. I really liked all of the points on this post about boosting creativity. Now, what you need to do is really boost your creativity in order to come up with having that competitive advantage as an online service provider, making your business unique. So you get the opportunity to say to clients, you cannot get this service from anyone else but me. You might be able to get the same service, but you won't get the same kind of level of service, the same experience, etc., etc. So you want to boost your creativity to come up with interesting ways to put together your services and also sell them. Now, on this post, they were all really, really excellent pieces of advice. Things like restrict yourself and stay positive and daydream and think about others. And this is not like run-of-the-mill stuff. I mean, it's really, really interesting psychological things from this guy called Gregory. But there was one point on here that particularly stood out for me. And it was point number 2, reconceptualize the problem. And I think if you can do this, this is going to be a great start for you in trying to figure out the answers to that question about how you can say to people, this only comes from me. So, I mean, he uses a point in there of talking about if you're a creative person, you're doing your paintings, and he gives you a question that you need to ask yourself and then reword. And I just wanted to give you more of an idea of how that would apply to services. So let's say, for example, clients are the backbone of your business, because obviously without clients, you don't earn any money. So instead of thinking to yourself, I need to get more clients, which is what we tend to focus on. We tend to focus on the end result, which is a good thing. It's obviously good to know those. But when you're putting together your business and your unique selling point and everything like that, what you need to do is take a few steps back and reword the question to yourself in order to create the type of question that you're going to need to get that outcome. So instead of, I need to get more clients, you should be thinking to yourself, what sort of service do I need to provide to attract these clients? And then you think about the client, and then you think about their problems, and then you put yourself in their shoes, and then you think to yourself, well, if I was in this position, what would I want? What would be the most expedient solution for me? The most cost-effective solution for me? How would I want that delivered? What kind of issues would I face with that? And then you can start really brainstorming all these ideas around reconceptualizing the problem and then finding a solution which you can provide. He goes on to say that oftentimes the best approach is to picture the intended audience of your next creative project, and in this case it will be your next clients. What inspires them? What are they sick of hearing about? What are the problems they face but are rarely able to talk about? So think about all these things. The best thing you can do here is kind of go and pick people's brains, especially if you have an idea of the types of people that you want to work with. Go and pick their brains and ask them, what their problems are, and try and work out the solutions from there. So that's a really, really good way to boost your creativity. Go and check out the post, but particularly take notice of point 2 and think about how you can apply that in your own business, so you can then go back to the first post that I was discussing with Seth Godin, and you can be the one that says you cannot get this service from anywhere else. And finally, my Travel Weekly post is from HubSpot, and it's called Go Beyond Good Enough, How to Delight Your Customers. Because once you've got to the point where you found the customer and you've sold them your unique selling point, and you've got your business to the point where you can honestly say, my business is unique and nobody else offers it like I do, and you're really happy with that side of things, and you get the clients, then you need to obviously think about keeping them. And this is an ongoing process. Delighting your clients isn't like a one-trick wonder where you do something good for them and then they're happy and then that's it. You have to keep plodding on, and you have to keep looking ways of becoming better and better and better. And there are 3 questions inside this post which I think are really, really excellent and really get to the point of what you're looking for. So the first one is, are you solving people's problems? So if you actually go back to the previous post, we were looking at what those problems were and how you could create the service. And then once you start implementing that service, you need to be asking yourself, are the people's problems solved? Is this doing what I hoped it would do? Is this business as a service what I hoped it would be for people? Am I really staying true to the fact that this is unique and that I am the only person that offers it in this kind of way? The next question is, are you providing recommendations and being helpful? I think some people are a little bit tight with their time, and I know that it can be very, very difficult to, answer a lot of questions from a lot of different people. I know that myself, and that's why in 2010 I took the decision to start creating training programs, because I was really getting so many questions from people and I wasn't able to respond to all of them directly. Without it taking up most of my day. So that's why I created the training programs. So in a way, I consider that also a contribution to the industry that I'm working in and what I'm doing. So think of ways that you can perhaps contribute to your customers without them draining all of your time. I'm not saying that you have to provide free consultations for, everybody who asks you, and you just keep, providing advice and everything like that for free on email. What I'm saying is really think about how you can be productive in providing recommendations and being helpful to people while keeping, your time restricted so you're not like burning out of it. But it's really, really important that you do give as much as you can, because that it's a karma. You will get back what you give, and it probably come back tenfold. And then finally, this is a really good question. Are you enthusiastic, warm and fun? You know, there's one thing about being really excellent at your job. That is one thing. For some people, that's all they really care about. Is like, you know, are you going to be able to get this job done? But for me, when I'm working with someone, it makes a huge difference to me if I get this vibe from them that they are being warm towards me, that they're fun to work with, and that they're really enthusiastic about the job. Sometimes I work with people and I just don't get that vibe from them. And then when I don't get that vibe from them, I tend to be a little bit more cautious about giving them additional work or additional tasks or look to kind of help them build with my business. One thing I really like to do with people in my business who work with me is I like to play on their strengths and I like to help them grow. And if I see talent inside my team, I will want to nurture it and I will want to see if I can make the best of that with people and challenge people as well who are working with me. And obviously it's going to be the same for your clients. If they see that you are enthusiastic, if they see that you are a team player, that you want to do good for their business, that you want to not just sit there and churn work out and then get paid for it, but you actually want them to be better, and you do it enthusiastically in a fun way, and you're warm and you're friendly, then you'll be surprised at the lengths that the client will go to help you be even happier in your work. So those are 3 really important questions that I think you should consider once your business is up and running and you've got some clients. And it's just a little bit of a self-assessment and a little bit of a review that you can do on yourself and how you treat the customers, and basically see whether you're going along the right lines and going on the right path. Simple questions, but very, very effective. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. Only 5 weeks to go until my little baby arrives, and I'm super excited, and I'll keep you posted on that as well in the next show. And take care.
Thank you so much for listening to this show. For more eTravel Weekly episodes, you can sign up for a free digital backpack at www.e-travelweekly.com, where I post the video, audio, and newsletter, plus all the links featured inside this week's show. You can also subscribe via YouTube at michelleonyoutube.me or via iTunes at michelleonitunes.me.